Okay, so what if the very person who helped kickstart the next tech revolution turned around and told you, hey, this thing I built, it's about to put millions of people out of a job? Well, that's not some sci-fi plot. It's actually happening. We're going to break down a huge warning that's coming straight from the heart of the AI industry and what it really means for the future of work, especially for one community that's standing at a major crossroads. And there it is, right from the horse's mouth. That's Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI. And listen, he's not talking about some far-off, distant future. He's basically saying we're about to see decades of change in the workforce squeezed into just a few short years. And notice who he calls out specifically. The first wave of job losses, according to one of the guys who built it, it's aimed right at customer service. But here's the thing, a warning like that doesn't hit everyone the same way. The risk isn't spread out evenly because the jobs on the chopping block are really concentrated in certain communities. So let's dig into why this AI revolution is about to hit one group of people particularly hard. Okay, get this number in your head, nearly 1 in 5. Right now, there are about 3 million customer service reps in the US, and almost 1/5 of them are Black. That is a massive concentration in a single profession, a profession that has just been told its days are numbered. And to really see what that means, just look at this chart. Black workers make up about 13% of the total US workforce. But in customer service, that number jumps to almost 20%. That overrepresentation, right there, is exactly why Sam Altman's prediction isn't just a general warning, it's a very specific and very serious red flag for this community. And you have to understand, this is so much bigger than just individual jobs. We could be looking at a huge economic ripple effect. When a major source of employment gets disrupted like this, it can send shockwaves through entire communities. To really get what's at stake here, you gotta look at the history. For a long, long time, the Black unemployment rate has been roughly double the rate for white Americans. You can see it right here in the 2022 numbers. So you have to ask yourself, what happens when a whole sector that employs more than 500,000 Black Americans gets turned upside down? The very real danger is that a gap that's already huge could get even wider. This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? It paints a picture of two very different futures. On one side, you've got the customer service job. The salary's around $41,000, and its future is, well, threatened. On the other side, you've got a job like a data analyst. We're talking a much higher salary, and it's in high demand. So the big question, the million-dollar question, is how do you build a bridge from that first column to the second? And that is where the story gets really interesting. Because instead of just waiting for the worst to happen, people are already out there forging a new path forward. They're actually turning this potential crisis into a massive opportunity. And they're doing it through something called reskilling. So what even is reskilling? I know, it sounds a little corporate, right? But at its core, it's super simple. It's the process of learning new, valuable skills so you can pivot into a completely different and more secure job. The idea isn't to get left behind by tech, it's to use this moment of change to jump ahead. And the great thing is, this journey from an at-risk job to a future-proof one isn't some big, confusing mystery. It can actually be broken down into some pretty clear steps. First, you figure out what skills companies are actually hiring for. Then, you get into an intensive training program, like a boot camp. And finally, you launch that brand new career in tech. It makes the whole thing feel possible. And look, this isn't just some idea on a whiteboard. This is really happening right now. So let's move away from the theory and look at some real stories with real people and real results to see how this is all playing out on the ground. Okay, so take the story of a customer service worker named Shiny. She was actually encouraged to go and retrain by her own boss. And why? Because her boss had just finished a reskilling boot camp herself and was leaving for her own new job in tech. I mean, how powerful is that? It shows that this path is already being built by the people walking it. And what's the result of taking that leap? Well, a starting salary somewhere between $60,000 and $90,000. Just think about that for a second. For someone coming from a job that pays around $40,000, that is not just a raise, that's absolutely life-changing. And organizations like Colaberry are the ones making this happen on a bigger scale. They've already helped over 5,000 people completely transform their careers, and their model is clearly working. Get this, over a third of their grads get a job offer after their very first interview. They do it by teaching not just the tech skills, like Python and SQL, but also those crucial human skills, like creative problem solving. It's a whole package designed to build real, lasting pathways to wealth and stability, especially for the communities that need it most. So, at the end of the day, what we're watching is this incredible story of adaptation playing out in real time. A community's resilience is being put to the test by this huge wave of technology, and the response we're seeing again and again is reinvention. Which leaves all of us with this one final critical question. Is AI going to be remembered as a tool for displacement that made economic gaps even worse? Or will we look back and see it as the catalyst for reinvention, the thing that pushed people to learn new skills and create more opportunity than ever before? The thing is, the answer isn't set in stone. It's being written right now by the choices we make and the actions we take.